Welcome to Research Basics Video 3, an introduction to library databases. Morehead State University has access to over 100 different databases. Many of these databases are article databases, so their primary focus is in providing full text articles and article citations. When we look at these databases, you'll notice that we have several that are more general in nature, like Academic Search Complete. This database is a general database and it covers a wide variety of topics. In contrast, we also have more subject-specific databases like PsycInfo. PsycInfo is a great database for anyone who is studying psychology because this database focuses in on the literature that is available in that field of study. The library also has a number of specialized databases that include material beyond articles. For example, Films on Demand provides access to streaming video documentaries. With so many search tools available to you, from the library catalogs and databases, and of course Google and Google Scholar, you'll want to become familiar with a lot of these that are really relevant to your research and your field of study. For example, if you're looking for the most up-to-date articles from scholarly sources, you'll probably find that library databases are the best search tools to use. Let's jump into one of these databases to actually see what they have available. Starting on the library's homepage, we can get access to a number of library databases right here in the center of the screen. First of all, we have a drop-down menu with a list of all of our library databases. If you know exactly which database you want to jump into, feel free to use this tool to find the database, click on the title, and hit Go. If you're uncertain about which database to jump into, then we do have additional resources to help you. Under the Articles tab, you can find some of these resources. First of all, if you want to do a basic search in our catalog for articles, you do have this search box up here at the top. Then we have a quick link to Academic Search Complete. Again, this is our general database that provides a wealth of academic resources on a wide variety of topics. But some of the best resources that you want to use to find credible discipline-specific items is actually a database that focuses on a particular subject. We call these subject-specific databases again. So you have a few options to find out what those databases are. First of all, we have databases by subject. This is a guide that lists all of the majors and disciplines here at Morehead State University. So if you're searching within a particular discipline of study, this might be a great resource to find out which databases are perfect for that particular discipline. If you're uncertain about which discipline would actually work for your topic, you do have the option as well to look at databases A to Z. This is a list of all of our databases with more details about each individual one. This is the resource I'm going to demonstrate today. The library has over 140 different databases, and we're not going to go through each individual one and do kind of a random search through all of our databases. That's just not practical. What we want to do is find a discipline-specific database that works for our topic. We have the option over here on the left to narrow the list of databases by subject. So for my particular topic, searching about internet wiretapping, I may want to look at communication or computer science or government in this case. But my particular focus is on social aspects, so I want to actually look at sociology. So we have here the option to see databases that are associated with this discipline. In looking at this list, you'll notice we have basic information about individual databases. If I want to know more about any single one of them, I have the option to click on More and see a little bit more about what subjects they cover, date coverage, and that kind of thing. I notice with this top database, it actually includes information about economics, politics, and sociology. All of this stuff is of interest to me in my particular topic, so this might be a pretty good database to jump into. All I have to do is click on the title to do that. I'm now in the database and ready to get searching. I want to do a really basic search, so I'm going to start off with my first concept, which is wiretapping. This is my main keyword and concept, and I just want to see what exactly it is the library has on this topic. So in looking at my search results, I notice that I start off with about 200 results. And I want to start really looking at these results to see if they're really relevant to my topic. So I have my first article here. You'll notice the database provides basic information about each individual article, and it includes this little icon that shows us what type of source it is. So this is from a scholarly journal, and you notice it looks like most of these results are scholarly journal articles. We also have basic information, including all the citation information and access information. That's access to the full text options here. But I'm not certain if I really want to bother jumping into the full text just yet. The database provides this option to actually look at a preview, and the preview is essentially the abstract of the article and key subjects related to this particular article. As I skim through the abstract summary, I notice that it looks like it's pretty much on topic and something that I want to explore, but I'm not 100% certain. I'll need to actually look at it to make sure. Also, I have subjects, and all of these subjects also look like they are somewhat on topic, but I also notice we have this one subject, books, that I'm not exactly certain how that relates to this article, and I'll have to explore it a little bit more to see if this is something that's really relevant. So I'm going to close the preview and look at our full text options. The full text options, it looks like we have two of them here. We have full text. This is the HTML version. A lot of databases will provide an HTML version. This is essentially the article typed out and presented as a web page. It can be very easy to skim through this type of full text option, but usually the library recommends that you look at the PDF version of an article when possible. The PDF version of an article will present the article as it was originally published and formatted in print usually. And we get a lot of information and context when we look at it in this way. So for example, we have an article, and I notice here at the top it says reviews. And when I look at the article itself, it starts off with book information and begins a book review. So this is essentially a book review and not an actual article on my topic specifically. So what I may want to do is, maybe skim through the review, see if this book is any good, and search our catalog to see if we have this book. The book may be very useful for me, although I don't know if I'll ever actually cite this particular review in my research. I'm more likely to want to go to the original source and actually explore that. So let's actually see maybe some other results that we may have. As I continue to look through my results, I notice first of all that we have some dated material. We have stuff from the 60s, stuff from the 80s, and I notice a lot of this stuff may just be too broad a use of the word wiretapping. So what I may want to do is actually begin to play with my search just a little. So up here at the top I did a really basic search for wiretapping, but I want to start really exploring my search a little bit more. So I'm going to add a new keyword with a special operator. This is a word that we use to connect words in a database search string. So what I want to do is add and, that's our operator, and my next keyword, which is internet. What I'm telling the database to do is to start off looking for the word wiretapping and to also find items that have the word internet in them. So I'm limiting my results a little. So this will start with the wiretapping articles and then provide articles that also include information specifically about the internet. So let me see what happens to my search. I notice now that I have about 70 results, so I am narrowing down my search results when I add a new concept with this word and I can start to explore my search results, and I notice we start off with that same book review that we saw earlier. But we notice we do have other new resources. So we have an article from 2005, Seen Beyond the Ruins Surveillance as a Response to Terrorist Threats. This might actually be really interesting and on topic. So as I begin to look at it, I can always check out the preview to see if it's something relevant or jump into my full text options. I'm going to jump into the full text and show you guys some important resources the database provides. So here's the article, and you do have the option, of course, to look at the article while it's open in your browser, but you do have the option in the database over here on the right to download this PDF and save it for yourself. You also have the option to see a citation for this article, so click on the Cite option. And what you see here is a computer-generated citation for this article. So if you want to actually cite this article in a different style, particularly MLA, 7th edition, that's the most recent edition, I have that option selected here at the top, and I can change the citation, and here it is. This is a general approximation of how this article should be cited in MLA. This is a great way to kind of cut some time when you're writing up your works cited pages. If you're doing MLA or reference lists, if you're doing APA or another style, all you have to do is copy and paste this into your work, and you should be able to correct it. And we do recommend that you always check these citations. They often have small errors in them. Also, this is a great way to take notes, so you can always save this citation as you're taking notes and researching, so you make sure that you have the information that you need about this article. Let's go back to our results and see what else we can do. So if I wanted to expand my search a little bit and play with my search terms a little bit more, I can actually do a lot more than just add new concepts. I have the option under the Advanced Search screen to do a lot more. The Advanced Search screen is a place for any researcher to see all of the search options that you have in this one database at one time. You do not need to be an advanced researcher to use this screen. What I'm going to do is build my search again, starting off with my key concepts. So first of all, my main concept is wiretapping. And I want to add my secondary concepts. You notice here we have the AND operator already in place for us. So I'm going to add my second concept. So you notice I'm leaving individual concepts on their own lines. What I have the option to do now is add more keywords. So what I want to do is actually explore things by opening them up just a little bit more. So wiretapping is my main concept, but it may not actually be the only word that could be used in this situation. So I want to start adding synonyms. I'm going to use another operator, specifically the OR operator, to really expand my search. So I'm going to expand my search by adding a synonym using the word OR to my search string up here. So I now have a synonym for my first concept. I also have potential synonyms for my second concept. So I'm going to, as you notice, the database kind of builds it in for you. I'm going to add a synonym specifically for internet, which is going to be online. So essentially what I'm telling the database to do is first to look for any article that has the word wiretapping or surveillance in it. So that really broadens things up. But I also want them to look for anything that has the word internet or online in it. So I've added my two concepts together with AND to kind of narrow things down a little, but I've also broadened the search by adding synonyms using this command word OR. Let's see what happens to my results now. So my search results have really exploded. We now have over 6,000 results. I'll probably want to narrow things down just a little bit more. And thankfully, I actually have another concept that I want to add. So I can go back to modify my search and continue adding concepts. If I want to add a new concept, all I have to do is add a new row and start typing. Privacy is my third concept that I really want to explore in my search. So I have now three concepts: first wiretapping, second internet, and third privacy. I don't have any particular synonyms that I want to throw in at this point about privacy, but let's actually see what we get with just adding this one new concept. I'm now down to about 1,400 articles, so that's still quite a lot of articles to go through. And I'm not 100% certain how much of this is going to be relevant. So what I want to do is start to take a look at the limiters over here on the left. So just like the library catalog, our library databases provide limiters over here on the left to take these results and limit them a little, so we kind of weed out stuff we don't want. First of all, I have the option to limit it just to scholarly journals, which is a pretty basic step. All I have to do is click here on this option, but it looks like the database provides us with an even more specific limiter, which is peer-reviewed. So if I click on this drop-down, I notice that we have the option to limit just to peer-reviewed articles. So we have slightly fewer number of peer-reviewed journal articles as opposed to all journal articles. After all, not all academic scholarly articles are technically peer-reviewed. So I can limit just to peer-reviewed articles by clicking here. So I now have cut out a few hundred of the articles that I had, but I'm sure there are ways that I can limit this even more. So when I scroll through the limiters and see what we have, I do have the option to limit by date. I'm not particularly interested in going back all the way to 1994. I want to look at maybe more contemporary, more current information. So I'm going to drag my options here, and I'm going to go to about a 5-year span. If I need to enter a date range, I can always do that, but I'm going to update my results and see what I get. We now have about 600 results, so this really has opened up my original search. I think I started off with 200 and then went down to 70, and now I'm about 600. This is some of the basic ways that you can play with your database search. Of course, what it comes down to is really going through your search results and seeing what it is that you can find out about each one of these individual articles. You'll notice in this particular database there is a lot of full text options, but you won't necessarily be able to find that. So you notice we do have some articles that have this find it option. This is an option where you can click on it to find out what other databases have access to this article. So for example, in looking at this article, it looks like this is not exactly on my topic, so I may not be interested in finding out about this article. But as I go through, I may find other ones. So here we have recognize the spies, transparency, and political power in Uzbek cyberspace. Ooh, this might actually be an interesting article if it provides a lot of international perspective. I could check out the preview to see if it's something that I want. We have some basic information with the abstract and subjects. But again, it is something that we don't have full text options for. So I'm going to click on Find It to see if we might have it somewhere else. In looking at the options available, we notice that no full text is currently available through the library. But we do have the option to request it. So all I have to do is click on this link to head over to the library's requested service, which includes interlibrary loan. All you have to do is log in with your MSU ID number and your MSU password, and you can begin requesting material. So all you have to do is send a request letting us know that you want this article, and we'll hunt around and see if we can find it at another library. Let's go back to our search. In doing this search, I've noticed that there are a number of articles about this particular topic in this database, and I've been able to play around with the database just a little to see kind of a variety of the resources that we have. But if I ever need help, or if you ever need help, you always have the option to head to the library and talk to the library and get assistance. As you're researching, be sure to take notes, evaluate your sources, and of course, you can feel free to ask for help. We here at Morehead State University Library are here to assist you with your research endeavors. Feel free to contact us as needed.